So, the whole premise behind this live is I'm pretty much going to be sat here all day cutting and crimping wires, wiring up this whole system. So I figured, why not have you guys watch me? You can ask questions. Hopefully the Wi-Fi can keep up with us. So, let's get going. Let's see if I can pull up this. How do I see that? Oh. There we go. What's up, Paul? My fellow Englishman. And this is definitely a sacrifice because I'm on live. I can't have my music on. So I'm just going to be sat here all day in silence just so you guys can watch. Let's make it so you can see. One annoying thing is though, I don't have the heat shrink at the moment. So I'm going to have to make all the cables, attach them, make sure they go in every place, and I'm going to have to take everything off and then heat shrink it. But what can you do? Oh, hey guys. Good morning, good morning. The workbench is probably one of the cheapest things in this workshop, but the best. And it's on wheels as well. So I can move this thing around the shop. And I get to I call it working like a gentleman. So like, I like to set myself up to work comfortably. So like this, and I'm gonna be here for like 12 hours working on this system. So if I can get myself set where I'm comfortable, and then I'm way more efficient that way. It just makes so much more sense. From Dallas. Love Dallas. What a cool area. Good morning. Oh, but then I stand up. You can't see me. Where'd I go? I guess I can keep, like... I'll just move you back a little bit. And then you can see the whole setup. Kind of. Of course you already woke up, Bart. I'm surprised. This is early for you. Normally you don't see the sunlight until like 11 o'clock. Proud of you. So I'm hoping to have this whole system wired by today. Which I don't think is too ambitious. I got all the components mounted yesterday and built this like whole setup. So hopefully by today, the whole thing will be wired and we'll be good to go. Thinking something like right about there. So I don't really know how long I'm gonna go live for. I'm probably just gonna leave it on all day, honestly. You guys can come and go as you please. Nope. keep me from going insane. That's for sure. And I'll do my best to answer as many questions along the way as I can. I'll try to stop like every couple minutes and go through the chat, answer any burning questions. I wish you could just be able to see more. Let me see if I can put you further back. Maybe that'll work. Then I can't see the chat. This is very difficult. I could get the laptop and then see the chat. Why don't I do that? Because this is hard to like scroll. Oh, Bart, you got bagel. That sounds lovely. That sounds really quite nice. Let's go there. Okay. That's just terrible. That's the thing with going live. You can't just edit it in post. It's all got to be done straight away. Okay. I'll go right there. Inch. I'll be back. Gotta get a screw.
Alright guys, I'll take it over from here. Do you want my phone so you can see the things going?
Sure.
It's really easy.
It's hard for me to kind of like keep up with the thing and...
I mean, it's not going that crazy. Hi guys. Hey Paul, how's the weather over there? We're actually going to be in England for Christmas, so
Woo!
looking forward to that.
Can't wait.
Hello Andy. wish I knew what you were saying, but is that Indonesian? Yeah, Bart wins for best everything, Mike, I think.
I still can't get over that double Bart cameo thing.
Yeah, that was amazing.
That was so funny, dude.
Oh, thanks, Paul. How many watts is the system gonna be?
We have
I'm way too tall for this camera.
800 watts. No, might be a little bit more. I think we have just over 800 watts on the roof of solar panels, and then
Oh, Daniel, the man himself.
300 amp hour battery bank, which is kind of small, but I think it'll be more than enough.
Morning, Daniel just popped in the chat.
Hey.
Daniel Maddie. This is Daniel's system, actually, that Jane's doing right now.
Daniel, you can watch me do work. Make sure I'm doing it right.
Yeah, if you want any changes, speak now, or it's always going to be like this. This was a really, I don't know if you talked about the build itself, but this was a very unique and different build for Jay. He's never done a build like this before. He's going to do a full video on the build itself, but basically everything's going to be removable. So it's pretty much like Legos, if you want to, like a sophisticated Legos. Everything can be taken out of the van, which was important for Daniel. So it's really cool. It's been fun trying to figure out the best way to make that possible. Yeah. And this rig itself is decked out. It's really cool. It's 4x4. It has a roof rack, upgraded bumper. So it could pretty much go anywhere, which is really awesome.
Your face is barely in it.
I know. Well, if I go like this, I don't know what's better, this or this.
You could like move just tilt it.
Bart wants to see your hand.
Oh, the damaged hand?
Yeah.
So, before, after. It's healed up pretty nice. So for those of you who don't know, I had a little bit of an incident at the shop.
Oh, I didn't even see that seat there.
Oh yeah, there's a seat. I had a little incident at the shop. There was a little fire incident. That's why you saw me in all the videos with all the bandages on my hand. I have burnt my hand pretty bad, but now I'm back to full strength. No stopping me now.
Yeah, you know Jamie's made of like metal, so he just heals really fast.
Oh, stop.
Anyways. All right. Paul, you're definitely right about that. He says, careful, Kels. Englishmen have a habit of farting in our other half's faces when the opportunity arises.
Oh, for when you were done. I get it.
Oh, Pippa's meowing. Next door, dude, here.
Yeah.
She just meowed.
It's cute.
All right, I feel ya. I think I'm gonna go make coffee in the office.
You wanna make me a tea?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks.
Drinking Airborne because I don't want to get sick. Everyone is sick. Jay was just sick. So I've been chugging this every single day and it seems to be working so far. But fingers crossed I don't get sick. Paul, you don't like tea?
What?
You call yourself an Englishman? I don't know about that.
I don't know about that. Can you play music on a live, Kels?
What?
Can you have music on a live? Or
No,
does
I don't
YouTube
think
not like that?
I don't think so. Well, you can do epidemic sound probably.
Yeah.
Epidemic sound playlist.
Yeah. So. Inch and
Did you explain what you're doing?
yeah, kind of. Keep kind of stopping and starting. The test T. Can't believe that.
So, fun fact for you is when I lived in England for a little bit. That's how I met Jay, and I never understood tea because in England they're very like tea is a very big deal there. Like you have to drink your tea a specific way. You can't leave the tea bag in when you drink it. It's like almost offensive. And so when I first got there, I just drank tea to fit in, but I like hated it. I was like, I don't understand why. I just didn't get it. I was like, what's going on? Like, what is the big fascination with tea? And after drinking it a few times, I just started to like it. So at first I didn't like it either. Maybe you just have to keep drinking it, Paul, and you like it. It was originally for the snobs.
Sounds about right. So I've seen that you can get like these hydraulic crimpers, but you can get them like electric, so you just pull a trigger. I would love one of those. So if anyone wants to get me something for Christmas, get me an electric hydraulic crimper. It would save so much wrist action. bit. Do inch and a quarter. I want to bring it in. Well, that's very close. It's going to have to be 4 1/4 heavy. Four and a quarter. Heavy. That's more like 4 1/2. That's 4 3/8. Did you guys go to Mystic and see the fire damage there yet? What happened in Mystic? Is there fire in Mystic? No, I didn't go there. See the damage. Inch and a half. Okay, here goes nothing. And we are through.
There you go.
Thank you.
Over here so it doesn't get stuck in it.
I'm making a mess. I need a vacuum. Where's the vacuum?
Bart, are you drinking any more of your cold brew? I miss that. This coffee's never the same ever since I had Bart's cold brew.
All right, everyone close your ears. Turning the vacuum on.
Oh no.
Sorry about that, everyone. Okay, so.
Orange squash. I don't think you can get squash over here, Paul. Yeah, they don't have
Like cordial?
Yeah, so squash in England is like a drink. I don't think you can really get that here.
It's like that, what's the stuff you squirt in the water here?
Like, not liquid IV, but close to that. Like, what is it? Like Mio? What's it called? Jay and I get confused sometimes with like what's English and what's American. I think it's Mio here, is what it's called. I could be wrong. Mio. Orange cordial. Yeah, I don't know. Do we have that here?
I don't think so. Like Robinson's. I know what he's talking about.
Yeah. Bart, you're acting like you're gonna come see us. Are you gonna make it tonight and then drop some off? Is it diluted orange?
Yeah.
Something I found really weird about England is they put Sprite in their wine.
But what?
Sprite in their wine. That's like a super normal thing. Because I worked at a, kind of like a pub, I guess you could call it. And people ordered that all the
Is
time.
it called a spritzer?
A spritzer, yeah. Which is, I just found it weird, Sprite and wine.
A nice summer drink.
So what drinks do you like, Paul? Orange cordial? How do you say it? Cordial? I like a nice red wine or like, I don't know, wine's a different one. If it's like too sweet, I don't like it. It gives me a headache. Whoa. Coffee or water? I feel that. Those are probably my two favorite drinks too. It's probably coffee, water, vodka. In that order. Hi, hot soakers. Oh, that's awesome. Congrats. Paul's been sober for 17 years and 8 months. That's amazing.
How are you?
That's especially hard to do in England, I feel like. Thank you, Daniel. You have a good day as well. Bart, are you going to meet up with Devin and us plus a bus? Because I think he's headed there very soon, too. That would be fun. I'm jealous, if you are.
You've got to move your coffee out of the danger zone.
Mike. I respect that, Mike. They say if you waste alcohol, it's like alcohol abuse. You can't let it go to waste. What's everyone else's favorite drinks? Doesn't have to be alcoholic. Or like, what's your favorite coffee order? My favorite coffee order is Bart, whatever Bart made me. It was like this like cinnamon cold brew. I don't even know what he did to it, but it was also during gutted, so we were like building all day, and then he would just come like angelically with a a cold brew and just hand it to me, and I'd be like, Bart! Or sometimes he would just like leave it on the table and not say anything. And I'd be like, did Bart just leave this here for me? And people would be like, I don't know, I guess so. And then I would ask him later about it, like, oh, I just started drinking that coffee that was on the table. And he was like, yeah, I left that there for you. Like, he just stopped even telling me.
What a guy.
Yeah, such a guy. Literally a
What a
lifesaver.
great guy. What's the best way to do this?
Triple shot espresso. Is that how you guys spell it? Do you spell it with an X? Because I say espresso, but it's spelled with a... I know in England, like, everything's spelled differently. Is that how you spell it? Espresso? EX?
Yeah, I think. Oh, no, never had one. Go right there. Go off center. Just
So English people do spell it with an X. That's so funny. That definitely sounds or looks better. Like, that's how it sounds, espresso.
It's just better in general.
I mean, no, because you guys add, like, you to certain words, so it's like, why is that necessary to add that you? It doesn't make a difference.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's called the English language.
And then aluminium. Like, why do you make it more difficult for yourself? Why don't you just say aluminum? The first time I heard someone say aluminium, I thought they were having a stroke. I was like, what are you saying right now?
You better be careful what you say. Oh, shoot.
It's a tough one. That Baltic birch, though.
Yeah, that's that good stuff. That's that good stuff. Alright, close your ears again.
Oh my god. Cold brew was a 48-hour process. That's why it was so good, because it was like made with love and love. It's like a good tomato sauce. The longer that you let it sit, the better it is. That sounds really good, Mike. A mocha with whipped cream. Ooh, an Americana from Greg's. I like a sausage roll from Greg's.
Oh, bean and sausage patty from Greg's. Oh, I'm murder for one of those right now.
The thing I'm most excited for, though, is probably full English. That's the first thing we always get at the airport.
Yeah. We'll go to the Weatherspoons.
Mm-hmm. That's
Get
so
a good
good.
5 pound full English. Yes, please.
Oh, that noise.
Yeah, that's a whole tangle of mess.
So I never really film this part when we do builds, just because it's kind of boring.
It's just long.
Some people think it's like interesting.
It just takes forever.
Devin said it's his favorite part. I think
I
Charlie.
can see it. It's kind of like meditative.
Yeah.
Meditative.
It's not like heavy lifting or like
Yeah.
hard labor. It's just very like tedious, I feel like.
Tedious, that's the word. It's definitely tedious.
But I think Charlie and Ben like it the most too. Ben loves anything wires, right?
Yep.
We have an electrician. Oh, you have an electrician watching you. That's a lot of pressure.
Uh-oh. I know I should be wearing rubber gloves, but kill me.
It'd be cool if we had 2 cameras, like closer up.
We need Devin's set up.
Yeah, we need Devin to come here and hook it up for us. It's okay, Paul. I'm an idiot as well with this kind of stuff.
What do you mean?
With electricity and mobiles.
Mobiles?
Well, like, he means like in vehicles, moving vehicles.
Yeah. It can be a little bit tricky, but once you've done it a couple times, you kind of...
He said, don't forget to take off that watch as well.
It's rubber.
It's rubber.
It's not a metal.
It's actually a triathlon watch, so it's like meant to endure. It's like if it was made of metal, it would break. What about your ring? Did you take that off?
I'm only working with 12-volt stuff, so it's like nothing's gonna cover this.
We're not here to recommend safety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I work how I work. That's why I'm
Don't follow our safety advice because we don't have any. But if you want to know how to wire stuff, follow that advice. Chuck's really good with his safety advice. If you want like full-blown safety and just like explanations of everything, go to Chuck Cassidy's channel. But who was that guy that did a full he did a full video like explaining everything and it was so good?
Probably Chuck.
No, it was like the company that puts these together. Remember? Do you know what I'm talking about? The company you bought the like packet of like information from.
Oh, Explorers Life.
Explorers Life.
That is a great resource.
Yeah. Yeah, they made a really good video explaining everything. Owen knows. Oh wow. Paul got electrocuted as a 15-year-old.
Ouch.
The 240-volt house system.
Ooh! That must have felt good.
Do you have any superpowers now? I feel like you would after that. This is kind of nice for me because I'm procrastinating doing any work, so I can just sit here and drink my coffee. That's good, Paul. I'm glad you didn't get any injuries that stayed with you. I'll have to sneeze. Oh, I hate that when you have to sneeze and it doesn't come out. It's like the worst. Ah. How many teas per day do you think English people waste?
Waste?
Because Jay hasn't had a sip of his tea yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
where is it?
It's over here.
Thank you.
At least 3, I feel like.
It's not that we waste them.
You forget about
Just forget about them. Me again. Okay, so now I'm going to wire up the inverter. I'm kind of getting all the chunky wire stuff done first. So I'll wire up the negative and the positive terminals coming from the links distributor to the inverter themselves. So I'm just trying to think. I think I want to run them down along the bottom and then pop them up through here and connect them. I think that'd be the neatest, shortest run possible. So I'm gonna work on that. I'll do the negative first, and then we'll sister it with the red positive. Okay, first things first, let's drill 2 holes. I'm going to go smaller than that, doesn't it? Let's just do 1 inch. An inch. What's this? Inch. Okay. So, first one's going to be there. Second one's going to be there. Quarter in from the edge, so that will make it 5 3/4. I'm probably gonna have to drill up from below. So, there we go. 3 5/8. 6. 3 3/4. 6. 3 3/4. 6. And then what did I say? 5 3/4. out of room. Whoa. Getting hot. Always make a mess. That was no joke. So then to prevent it blowing out from the top, I can just put a piece of scrap there so I can keep drilling and it won't blow out. Then you gotta watch your hand. Gotta be close. There's one. There's two. Close your ears. I've got to take my hoodie off. Ooh. Getting warm. Okay, where were we? Around this guy. gonna come through here. Oh, this is getting messy. Uh-oh. There. This is getting messy.
I left my coffee in here.
Huh?
Left my coffee.
Going.
When did my phone die?
I don't know.
Yeah, it did. Oops. Let's figure this out.
Any questions?
I don't know. Phone died.
You can like scroll up on the left. No, scroll up on the left.
Ah. Jay needs you to hold the back steady.
Oh, when I was drilling, we got
Yeah.
it to work.
Hey Jay, do you have any plans to come to Ohio in the future? We actually might, but probably not. There was some tiny home tours that we were gonna go there to film, possibly, but if we drive from here to Schoolypalooza, if we somehow get this guy done, the Airstream done, then we want to drive it to Schoolypalooza, but that's in late January, and we still have this van to finish, which is almost done, but then we have another build in between that, and then we'd get to the Airstream. So and we're going away for Christmas. So realistically, we'll probably fly to Schoolypalooza and just like rent a rig or stay with someone there. So probably not going through Ohio anytime soon, but maybe. Is that a hydraulic crimper? If so, what brand?
Yep, it is a hydraulic crimper. Honestly, I don't know the brand. It's the yellow kit that you can get off Amazon. Actually, that's the box it comes in. So the name is Hyclat.
That's kind of a weird name.
Hyclat. Hyclat. And then it comes with, I can't show you without tipping out. It comes with all the different dies, so you can change the size of the wire that you're crimping. This one can crimp up to 2.0 wire, but I'm pretty sure I've crimped 4.0 with this before. But it was tough, but it could do 4.0.
Evan, I've just started my electric, and I've watched a ton of your videos. This is perfect timing.
There you go.
That's awesome, Evan. What rig are you building? You got a bus or a van? What are you doing now?
So I'm just applying heat shrink. I used to use a little butane torch for this, but I got PTSD from that fire that I had, so I got myself a cheap heat gun instead. Takes a little bit longer, but it's safer.
What are some, this is my question that I think would be useful. What are some common mistakes people make when they first start doing electric?
I think the most common mistake people do when they're doing their own electrical is you get all the cheap stuff. I'm a true believer in you get what you pay for. So if you're buying all the cheap components, they don't have the built-in safeties like these, like the upper end components. Like I will never, ever going forward use anything but Victron components. They have built-in safety features. They've got all the Bluetooth features. They all talk to each other. They're super easy to install. They've got great warranty. If you're trying to save money, electrical is not the place to do it. That's my view.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do it right.
And as cool as roof decks look, it's better just to put solar panels up there. Unless you have like a 40-foot bus and you have plenty of space. It's always nice to kind of have more solar. Even though the roof decks are pretty cool, but.
Yeah. For the cost of what a solar panel is, they're relatively inexpensive. Like $200 to $300 for like a 200 amp hour, 200 watt panel. So put as many panels as you can fit on your roof. That's my advice. But then again, that does run up the price of your charge controller. So it's like.
You could get a really beefy system and spend like 20 grand on electrical easily. It's kind of crazy. And then Dakota Lithium, they have a bunch of like safety features on their batteries as well. And I'm pretty sure I saw them say that they work in like negative 20 degrees.
But yeah, that's
Is that standard or?
Kind of, yeah.
But like if you get
with lithium.
With lithium, yeah. We love Dakota Lithium batteries just because the company itself.
They're just really cool people.
Yeah, they're awesome to work with. And
if you've ever got any questions, their customer support is like out of this world, really good.
Yeah.
And their batteries are great.
I think someone asked a question, but there it is. Someone said, how much do you guys charge for consulting work? I have a school bus I've been working on slowly for 4 years now, and I'm finally to the point where I'm considering solar.
That's exciting. So if you go on our website, you can book a consultation call with us. That's the easiest way to do it. Or just send us an email and we'll pencil in a time.
Someone said,
I know how daunting it can be for your first build. I've been there.
the crack torch. That's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah, the crack torch.
Evan, that's awesome. We did a shuttle bus kind of recently. Did you have to redo the whole floor, like rebuild it? Because that was kind of insane. We didn't realize most shuttle buses are built like that, I guess.
Yeah, the floors are so thin. It was just like tiny gauge sheet metal on the floor.
Evan bought a kit from Battleborn that comes with all the Victron components.
Nice. Victron is the way to go. It is definitely the way to go.
I need to get you an elf costume and hat for Christmas. Sure.
What?
If you're into that, Paul, I'll get that for He had to redo his subfloors. Shuttle bus is fiberglass.
Yeah, the shell's fiberglass.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm a fan of the shuttle buses like that. They're not built as sturdy as the old school buses.
I feel like they drive easier though.
Oh yeah. Because you can get them on a Ford chassis. And
Yeah. Residential, they seem to be using more microinverters at each panel. Is that going to be a trend in mobile also? Or is it more of a function of scale and that on a house panels may have different angles?
yeah, I think it comes into play the span of your wires. And I mean, like in a van or a bus, your wires just aren't reaching. They're not going like 250 feet in length. Do you know what I mean? So I don't
Oh, can you hear us? Thank you. It's because I accidentally closed it out. How did Jay learn about electrical for buses, YouTube University, self-taught?
Yeah, both. YouTube, self-taught, and then I have a bunch of very, very smart friends that when I was first doing this, I'd always pick their brains. They'd help me like design a system, double check what I was doing, make sure I was doing it all right. And then like I've done probably, I don't know, like 10 systems like this now.
Probably more, because you've
Probably
done...
more, yeah. Somewhere in that range. So
Yeah.
I've done a bunch of different sizes, configurations, figured out what works, what's the most cost efficient, what's worth spending the money on, what's worth staying away from.
Yeah, we tried to cheap out on our first system, so we've made all the mistakes for you guys, so you don't have to make them.
Yeah.
And no, he actually didn't learn from Chuck Cassidy, which is Chuck wasn't making videos when we started
he wasn't on
this.
the YouTube scene back
We
then.
would have been watching every single video. We still do right now, but I mean back then we would have. That is such a good resource to have for the community. But
the videos he's putting out now are really good.
they're so informative. He just knows everything. He's like a book. It's amazing to just listen to him talk. But yeah, when Jay first started, he actually was working in construction building houses. So when we were doing the electrical for our first bus, he was able to ask the electricians certain questions just to make sure that he was doing everything right and safely. Because that's really important. You want to make sure that your system's safe. We've seen and heard about a lot of horror stories. I think if you're gonna hire out anything, the electrical is the most important thing to just make sure you have it right, double check it, consult with someone.
Yeah.
Because you can mess
This
it
can
up.
burn down your whole friggin' vehicle, so just get it right.
It's worth it to maybe take a little bit longer, spend a little bit more. Speaking of, I gotta call that dealership and let them know.
Yep.
Yeah, Chuck's amazing. I'm sad that he's leaving his shop. I think December 1st is his last day. So he's gonna be, I think, doing a lot of consulting jobs and stuff. He does consulting as well, so if you wanna head over to his website. I don't know if they have any open spots. I think they're filled up, but him and Justin. Save the voicemail. year, you coming down with the flu.
I've been very ill this past week.
Yeah, he's been actually sitting on that couch, which is not common for him. He's normally working. I've had to like yell at him to lay down, rest, make sure that he gets better.
I'm on the come up.
I don't know what he had. He took COVID tests. He took 2, and they all came back negative. But when I went to get him cough drops at the store, the whole aisle was just like empty. So I think a lot of sicknesses are going around right now, not necessarily COVID, just like,
Yep.
you know, regular colds and stuff. But whenever you get sick nowadays, you're like, do I have COVID?
Ain't that the truth?
Hot toddies. What is that? What are hot toddies? That's like, oh, that's that drink that you were telling us about, Paul. Has solar and electrical experienced the same type of inflation in prices as wood and steel? I think everything has, hasn't it? Just like to a certain extent.
I don't really.
Not like noticeably, but.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Can't say I've noticed it.
The test came back negative. That's strange for him being such a positive guy. Nice
That's a
one.
good one. Yeah, you should ring that dealership.
Yeah. All right. Be back.
That's probably who just tried to call me.
It was New Hampshire. Woo. I don't think I can do this one yet. I can do the owl. I can do the outside. The in is 6. Oops. What's the best way to do this? Calm. Up. Put down. That works.
They're always so hard to get. I think I'll blow my nose. Yeah, there's been a few sketchy builders out there. Green Oasis, the panel I always use is this one over here. So it has the 12 volt and the 120 volt all in one panel. I really like it just because it's so clean. You can run all your wires to the same place. It is called, it's the WAFCO, which is like WFCO. It's a 30 amp or a 50 amp panel. Depends what main breaker you put in it. But yeah, that's the panel I always use. Let's see what else. Okay, what was I doing? Put ferrule on these guys. That was the thing. Whoa. That's a good ferrulous. That's what it is. Screwdriver. Through the other way. Stuff in something. Come on.
going?
Just wiring. Nothing too exciting.
See what's going on here. Hey Cindy, how's it going? And Steven. Yeah, that video Chuck did a few weeks ago was insane about how bad the electrical problems were. We've met, I think, who did that one? I think it was Apex Solutions in Utah, I want to say. They've done a few really bad, dangerous builds.
Yep.
It's kind of scary. I think in the future they're going to have to regulate bus building, which they should for certain. Like, it's dangerous to have people building stuff like that. But hopefully they don't regulate it too much. Just like have a guy like Chuck come by and be like, all right, that looks good. Or you need to start over and redo that whole thing. Hot soakers, that's exciting. What color are you gonna paint your, I don't know how long ago this was, but if you're still there, what color are you gonna paint your office? Do you know anything about the Red Arc system based out of Australia? That's the electrical system I use, costs about $2,500. That's what Bart said.
No idea.
Sounds legit though.
Yeah.
Green Wasted Vendors asked, just curious if they make them to 12 volt, 230 volt systems as well, and not just to 12 volt, 120 volt, because the 120 will not work over here, unfortunately. Oh.
Which will talk about Victron?
The systems, 12 volt, 230 volt systems.
Yeah, so Europe's all like 230, 240 volt.
Yeah.
And Victron does all of that.
Victron does.
Yep.
So you just go to their website.
In fact, there's some stuff you can get 240 volt or 230, whatever you want to call it, that you can't get on a 120 circuit.
Cindy, where are you from? And Paul, I can definitely do that. Give Alyssa a huge squeeze. I miss her. I want to go see her, tackle that bathroom with her. We're excited to go visit that house. That is Alyssa from Regretless. She just bought a house in Colorado.
I think it's so cute.
And if you could literally like draw the perfect house for her, I feel like it'd be that. Like, you know how they say like you look like your pet? I feel like she looks like her house. Because it's just so freaking cute. Oh, Green Oasis was wondering about the panels.
For the...
Oh, they're in Sweden. Got ya. Where is it? What kind of panel are you using to secure the system? Only a 12 volt or 12 volt 240 volt? Would you be able to tie into the grid if necessary?
Oh, you're talking about like breaker panel.
I think so. Yeah, panel.
What was the question? Sorry. Hit me.
I just lost it again. What kind of panel are you using to secure the system with? Only a 12 volt or 12 volt 240 volt? And would you be able to tie into the grid if necessary?
Yeah, so this system is basically two separate parts. Excuse me. So the system is basically two separate parts, which is pretty standard for like all RV applications. There's a 12 volt system, which is all your lower appliances like your lights, max fan, some refrigerators will have 12 volt, USB outlets. And then there's the 120 side, which in Europe is the 240 side, which is all like your residential plugs. So anything that would plug into a normal outlet in a house. So stuff like AC units.
Don't they make 12 volt AC or no?
They do make 12 volt AC, but they're not as common. Any outlet, any regular outlet. So there's two separate systems within this one system, pretty much. The inverter, this unit, the inverter is this unit, and this basically takes the 12 volt power from these batteries and inverts it to 120 volt or 110 volt, whatever you call it. Or Europeans, 240 or 230 volt. So then that power from here is then sent to the breaker panel, which is just like a normal residential house. Then off your breaker panel, you have all your circuits for your outlets and stuff like that. And then the 12 volt power from the batteries can go directly to appliances, lights, max fans, diesel heater, all the 12 volt appliances in the rig. Hope that answered the question.
And they said opinions on going 24 volt versus 12 volt for a schoolie build.
24 volt is more efficient, supposedly. But it can get a little bit more complex. And the 24 volt stuff is a little bit more specified. So like some of the stuff you buy, you have to make sure that it runs on 24 volt, or you get like a step down converter where you'd have to convert it down from 24 to 12. I just always stick to 12 volt just because the systems are this size. 24 volt is good when you go in a little bit bigger, but for something like this, 12 volt is perfect.
So like for a schoolie build, like maybe a 40-foot build, do you think?
Well, the size of the rig doesn't really matter. It's more of what you're powering within the rig. Because like in a van, you could be powering an AC, something huge that sucks a lot of energy, and then in a schoolie, everything could just be 12 volt. It's not necessarily the size of the rig.
But normally you'll be powering more if you have a bigger rig. Like
yeah,
you could be. So I guess.
Yeah.
I guess it just depends. Like if you're a family of 4, and you have like 2 max air fans, not that that uses a lot of power, but
no.
ACs.
Yeah, it's whatever your power needs are. If you think you would benefit more from a 24 volt system, then go for it. But I just stick to 12 volt systems because I have all the parts for it. And it's just what I know. It applies.
Yeah, we're excited to see. So I guess they're premiering Gutted in January, which is sooner than what we thought. So I think we're gonna fly out and see all the gang, see Alyssa, see Chop, hopefully everyone from our team. Hopefully Bart. It'll be really fun.
I hope so.
I'm excited to see how they portray us.
I'm not.
Jamie's just gonna be like this the whole time. He probably doesn't talk. He's just like building. And then
That's the only way I know how.
talking to himself every once in a while. You're flying to Bash? What's Bash? Is that the
Isn't that a meetup?
Is that the escapee Bash?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we should be there.
I think we should be there, yeah. We signed up to go, so. One True Bob. I like your username. That's really cool. That's exciting that you're starting your build. What kind of rig do you guys have?
Okay, so just to quickly update, I just connected this plug, which is the Shore plug, all the way back to the inverter on the AC inside. Put some ferrules on the end, screwed it in on both sides. I can't run the AC out section yet because I don't have the cable for it. It's coming. So I can't completely finish that. But then I'll run the AC out cable, which will go from the inverter to the breaker panel over here.
Justin, I didn't realize that was you. Hey, buddy. You're in your alter ego juice box. What are you going to stay in? Are you going to stay with Devin and Bree when you fly out, or what are you planning on doing? Because we were thinking about maybe getting a rig, trying to reach out to like a company. But it also would make a really good video if we all stayed with Devin and Bree. It would be 5 people, 5 people. I'm trying to do math right now. 5 people, 1 bus. It would be kind of fun. Yeah, apparently they have bunk beds that are like built for tall people too, so.
Output. That one. Have to run a ground.
Justin, are you going to go to Schoolie Palooza as well? What kind of rig were you thinking? What company? Any company that would give us a rig, except for Van Do It. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But not, I mean, anything would be great. We stayed in Van Do It vans for Gutted, and it was just difficult because of, I don't know.
It didn't have a toilet.
It didn't have a toilet or a shower. It was a nice, like, bed, kind of. It wasn't really the comfiest bed, but it was, like, hanging from the bondage stuff. I don't know. It was fine, but I think I'd rather stay with Devin and Bree than stay in that, just because it'd be more fun. But if we got, like, a cool rig, it'd be nice to stay in that, too. I don't know. Van Do It.
I gotta drill another hole. Darn it. Where's my drill?
It might be a little crowded, yeah. I think the Van Do It van would have been fine if the shower was there. Like, we had to walk like a mile to get to the showers, and then after a 16-hour workday of working on a build, it was just kind of a lot. So it was just, I basically didn't shower for 5 days because it was just way too difficult. Is it cold there, or is Jay having a bad hair day?
It's cold. Oh, it's cold.
It's cold, yeah. It's also, I haven't been able to get heating on in the warehouse because every time I call the gas company, they just like don't answer. And I've sent in like so many requests to get the heating on, but it's like a monopoly. They're the only people that can help us, but like don't have any incentive to try hard. So we haven't been able to get a hold of them. Sent in a lot of requests. Southern Connecticut Gas Company. Yeah, Justin, you had the hookup with that RV. That was nice. You and Ben had all that space to yourself. So it was also kind of funny because we were told we were all gonna get RVs, and then we get there and we're in this like tiny van with like nothing in it. But they did give us like a nice welcome package and everything. It was just kind of like we were expecting like a nice big RV.
Some people have to sleep on the streets.
I know. I'm not trying to complain. It was really nice, but it would probably rather stay with Devin and Bree. Yeah, there's actually a website you can go on, Steven, where you can rent rigs. I don't know if people rent out their schoolies. They probably do. But I forget what the website is. Do you remember?
No, it's like the Airbnb, but for like RVs.
You can rent out vans. I haven't seen any buses. I feel like renting out a bus would be like for the person who's like running it. It just would be like if the bus broke down or something, like you're just renting it in the middle of nowhere. I don't know. It'd be a bigger liability, probably. Outdoorsy.
Outdoorsy, that's the
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like I feel like everyone has their own little kinks with like driving the bus. Like, oh, you have to do this to start it. Or like sometimes it doesn't start and just renting it out and having to be like a lifeline to someone 24/7 would be a little bit scary and just not worth it. You'd probably be better off just parking it, Airbnb-ing it, and just not driving it. Like Justin, you could probably make a killing doing that. But then you have the bathroom situation and it's like, do you want to clean up someone else's turds? Like, I don't think you want to do that. I don't think any amount of money is worth that. So you'd have to like have an outhouse or something. I don't know. We've thought about doing stuff like that too. Like eventually one day having Airbnbs.
Look at that for a drill bit.
That's cool. Gotta leave, Justin. Why don't you buy a piece of land in Joshua Tree for like super cheap and park your bus there?
Yeah.
And then, because you could buy land for like $5,000, I feel like, out there.
Do it.
And then build an outhouse. Have someone manage it. I feel like you could charge, people charge a lot of money in Joshua Tree. And then you could have like a whole commune, like other people's buses that have been retired. Yeah, that would be really cool. You'd have to, oh, you do have an AC as well, so you have the whole thing. You could maybe do it so it's always plugged in. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, could you put your bus on their land and they just manage it for you for like a fee or whatever? Their land, Arbor Season's land looks so nice.
Oh yeah.
They were showing it to us and they were like, you guys can have your wedding here if you want. I was like, that's really tempting. It's just so far away from England. If it was on the East Coast, I feel like we definitely would have been like, heck yes. Yeah, Justin, I feel like your bus belongs on the road too. Our bus has a new owner and I've been waiting to see it out on the road, but I haven't seen it yet. I think the Airbnb in Texas is actually Tio Aventura's old bus. They sold it to a company that Airbnbs it now, and I'm pretty sure they do it for like $200 a night. It's in Austin, which is like an expensive area of Texas, obviously, but it's pretty good. I'm actually thinking about making this week's video about how why van life doesn't last forever for everyone. But then I feel like it kind of like we all have that itch. Like once we stop traveling, we're like, okay, when's the next time we're gonna get our hit of travel? Yeah, I feel like, Justin, I'm definitely going to call you about that video because, I don't know. It's an interesting topic, especially now that Alyssa's, she's not giving up bus life. I feel like you never like give it up 100%. You're always like, okay, I'm just going to not do it full time anymore. I think it's hard to always do bus life full time.
Smaller.
No, Paul, actually, I think I remember, I forget who it was. Someone rented out an Airbnb bus that didn't have an engine in it. So you could literally just like buy an old bus that doesn't run at all, tow it to wherever you want it to be. You probably get it for super cheap and then just park it there forever, turn it into an Airbnb. That's like our end goal, I feel like, is to have an Airbnb where it's like, so we have land and it's like a bus, a van, an Airstream, just like all like moving vehicles that are parked, and then you can stay in whatever one you like book out and kind of see which one feels the best for you. And then maybe you stay in the bus one night and you're like, nah, I could stay in something smaller, live in something smaller, and then you try out the van the next day. I just feel like that'd be really cool. And then have like a really cool communal area with a hot tub. And then you go see Charlie in the in one of the rooms, and he has a clipboard and he talks to you about
Pros and cons.
the pros and cons, and just talks crap about vans and how you should never, doesn't let anyone that goes there buy a van. He's like, nope. Yeah, I feel that, Justin. Once you're in a house, it's hard to imagine being full-time again on the road. And it's also impossible to stay put. Like, are you starting to go a little bit insane staying in the same place, or is it nice for you? Because for us, like, I feel like I've started to go a little bit insane, but then I started joining, we joined like the YMCA triathlon club. We started going to basketball 3 times a week, or mostly 2 times a week. I only skip one of the days, which it's happening right now. But that's like kind of been a nice way to have community. I feel like I'm going insane, but I can't figure out why. I feel the same way. So like, are we like trapped? Like once you start living nomadically, are you just trapped in that, like, that's the only way that you feel sane again after you do it for like a certain amount of time?
There's something to be said about that.
Yeah. Like, are we just screwed for the rest of our lives? Like if we're not out on the road? But I don't know. I feel like once we do get out on the road again with this Airstream, like we're gonna appreciate it so much more, and maybe we'll never leave. I don't know. I can't tell if it's being a nomad or being a YouTuber. Yeah, because do you feel like it's harder to find stuff to film now? Because when you're out on the road, you can just make so many videos. Is that 4 or 2 gauge wire?
This is 2.0 wire.
Yeah, I can't stand being in one place for too long either. And Jay and I, when we first set out traveling, we were like, oh, we'll find that place that feels like home. Kind of like Alyssa, how she was like, oh, this feels like home to me. And we just haven't really found that place yet where we look at it and we're like, this feels like home. I don't know if that's because we have to build it. We have to buy land, live in the Airstream, and then build the place that feels like home. But yeah. We also eventually want to have a place in England too, so we can go back and forth. But I don't know, this is just end goals, dream goals. Yeah, we miss Charleston. I feel like it's hard to find parking in Charleston and on the East Coast in general. So we kind of, if you're not staying at like a Harvest Toast or paying for parking, it's difficult.
I think we were in a rush to get to Florida or something.
Yeah.
So we didn't go off.
Or no, we were in a rush to get to Scott and Ashley in North Carolina from Florida.
That was it, yeah.
So I think we just kind of kept going.
See the homies.
Oh, Steven, Arizona is another place like that. It's stunning out there. That was probably one of our favorite. That, like the Oregon coast was amazing. Just because there wasn't a lot of people there in Oregon, like it hadn't didn't have like houses everywhere. It was like you could go on the beach and just like roam and park on the beach. We would park up like that whole highway 101, I think it is.
No, I think it's just one, isn't it?
Highway 1. I don't know what it is, but it was just stunning out there. I feel like the East Coast is just really populated, so that's why it's hard to park and find parking over here. And it's just not as pretty. There's not as much land that you can just roam.
Come on.
Have we thought about meeting up with other van bus people in England and do trade-offs like timeshares? We actually don't know other van lifers in England. Like we're not we haven't like spoken to anyone in England that's a van lifer. That would be really cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. Okay. Making progress, folks. We're making progress.
Oh, Justin, don't give away that spot. So they have a downtown RV parking garage that you can low-key stay at overnight. Because then once everyone finds out, then that's when it gets ruined. Yeah, Travel Beans, is that the one that they were in America and their van like blew up and like caught fire and they totally had to start over? That was scary. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was so scary for them. Glad that nothing bad happened. I feel like after seeing that video, the fireball, if they just had I think they just bought the van and then they were like driving it somewhere and then it exploded. But so luckily they didn't have a lot of stuff in there, but I feel like having a fireball, if you guys know what that is, in your rig, super important just in case any freak accidents like that happen. A fireball, like it just like basically is a fire extinguisher, but it gets set off on its own. So if a fire happens and it gets like it heats up, it'll like combust basically and just let the fire out. So just for like peace of mind, those things are nice.
Yeah. For sure.
I have one in the office right now. A schoolie caught fire in Florida about 2 weeks ago. Do you know what happened, Steven? I think the main thing besides like the electrical system is people use those propane heaters where they have like the flames, the Mr. Buddy heaters, and they leave them on, and then they don't have like good safety features. So if like a blanket or something like hits it, then it just catches on fire really fast. So I would not recommend the Mr. Buddy heaters in your rig, especially if you have like a dog or young kids. Love you, Justin. Talk to you later, buddy. I think there was a fire that happened, I forget where it was, and the whole family like basically caught on fire. Now, this is a dark topic, sorry guys. I don't want to, we can get on to happier topics after this. But yeah, the dad like rescued the kids. He went back in, the whole bus was on fire, and I think it was a safety, like it was nothing the family did wrong. It was just like one of those freak accidents where, again, having a fireball or something would definitely like come in handy for that situation. But they the whole bus caught fire and the guy went in and like saved 2 of his kids. They have 4 kids. I think 2 were seriously injured, 2 were like okay out of that whole situation, and now they're just like getting surgeries and they look a lot better. I don't know if anyone knows who I'm talking about. You can totally put that name in the Instagram name in the group chat. High purple panda.
What
I
a
think it's-
name. Purple panda.
We're just talking about some fires that have happened in the schoolie community. It's weird that it's always, oh, well, I guess that other one was a van. But yeah, that family, that like was really sad. I'm so glad that they're all okay, but the kids were really severely burned, and I think they have a whole blog about the entire like experience and what happened. But they basically, like, as a family, were trying to spend a whole summer traveling the US. It was like their dream. The husband had been, I think he was a veteran, and he had PTSD, so he was trying to like escape that, and then that whole thing happened to him. I was just like, this poor family can't catch a break. I actually DM'd them and I was like, if you guys need anything, like, let us know. I'll offer up my husband's services for free. But yeah, it's really sad. Anyways, let's get on to happier topics. Yeah, that's smart, Steven. The fire escape windows. And I think those windows are cool. Everyone always gets rid of those windows that open up this way, but like in our bus, whenever it was so hot, we would open those windows and it would really help get like airflow. And I think they're cool. Like, you can just stick your whole head out the window. And yeah, I like those. So how long does this typically take you, and how long did it take you when you first started?
The electrical?
Yeah.
Wow. The first time I ever did this probably took me like a week. A week of like...
I think it was like 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah, because you didn't know what you like...
But no, I'm talking like... It was 2 weeks probably working on the evenings.
Oh, yeah.
But it's probably like a week's worth of like... full time. And like half the battle is... This stuff can take so long. But if you have the right tools, like... Even if you just have like shears that are like shorter, it's so hard to cut the cables. But with longer ones, you just cut them and it's done. Like the hydraulic crimper instead of the one that you hammer down. Just getting the proper tools makes it so much faster, more efficient, and it does the job properly. So now I can probably put together a whole electrical system like this in like 2 days. Maybe like two and a bit days. Including like building the...
And those are like long days probably, right?
I guess, yeah. Including like building the carcass for it and everything. Like 2 days to put this whole system together and like test it and make sure it's running well.
Angus, is that the Angus that we worked on your bus in Texas? I feel like there's not many Anguses out there in the world. Did he keep both of his windows? Can't remember. Angus, hi, how are you guys? We were just talking about you and how we miss you. I hope you guys are doing well. Aww.
Hi guys.
Angus we did his bus in Texas.
Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas. That was so much fun. His family is from Scotland, which was so funny. Like, just had Scottish and English people together, hanging out, drinking teas all day.
So much fun.
His parents were like the sweetest people. They would just invite us over for dinner every night. And I'd be like, Jamie, can you just build a little bit slower so we can stay here longer? Because it was just so fun.
Great people, you know? Just great people.
We got to do Ragbri together this July. Or would it be next July or this July?
I'm down.
Time flies so fast.
Yeah, we should book that.
Yeah. I know, I miss Austin. That was a great place.
Austin is such a cool town. Well, city.
Oh. I'll make you a moderator. Cindy, thank you. Dad wimped out of Ragbri.
What?
Dad wimped out of Ragbri.
I know, that broke my heart when I heard that.
So if you guys don't know, Ragbri is this thing where you bike across, is it Idaho? Iowa? One of the I's. And it's like, is it 1,000 miles? It's something ridiculous.
It's legit.
It's a lot of biking, but you basically do it with other people. You stop in every town. Kara and Nate did a whole like documentary series on it, and it looked really cool. But Angus's dad is into biking. Oh, it's in Iowa. His dad's into biking, and we tried to get him to do Ragbri. We're like, come on, you can do it, you can do it. So like, I think under the peer pressure, he signed up for it, and then we left, and then he didn't end up doing it. But next time, if we go, he can't wimp out.
We can all do it together.
Yeah. I feel like you got to get a different bike for that, though, right? You can't use
Just a road bike.
just a road bike.
Yeah, TT bike would be too dangerous. That many people.
Are you going to stand up straight in the Airstream?
Yeah.
That Airstream is a beast. It's
There's
really
so much headroom in there.
It's huge. It's wider than a van, and I think is it taller? Yeah. Depends on the van.
Yeah.
But
I think it might be interior-wise taller than.
it depends where you are, because like it's like a curve, so certain areas it's not as tall. But if you stand like in the middle, it's super tall in there.
I love it.
I can show you guys. Oops, just dropped my phone. I bring them over.
Nice.
We're keeping those. I think it looks good for decor. How do I open this guy? I can sneak you through the window though, in the back. I don't know if you can see through that. My face? So yeah, it's very spacious. Feels like a mansion in there when we go in there. It's just exciting. Like, I can't wait to get this thing out on the road. It's definitely a showstopper. Not right now with how it's looking, but once it's all like shined up, it'll look really good. Uh-oh, this guy's not. Sorry for all the shakiness. What year is the Airstream? So the Airstream's in 1971, and I guess that's the year where they actually made them wider than what they are now. Tiny Shiny Homestead. I don't know who that is. Tiny Shiny Homestead. That sounds cute. Yeah, Paul, you're right. It's like, I feel like it's more, Ragbri is more than just about the biking. It's about like being around people,
Yeah.
experiencing the food and just like the joy in every town. So I feel like I don't blame your dad for not wanting to do it by himself.
I do.
I wouldn't want to do it by myself, but like, I guess the hope is that along the way you make friends with people that you can start to bike with. Oh, that's awesome, Steven. Did you restore the whole thing, or did you like renovate it?
Losing everything.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I'll have to look them up, Cindy. We actually just met a family that lives in a brand new Airstream with their kid, and that Airstream's decked out beyond belief. It's a recent tour video on Tiny House Giant Journey. It's the latest Airstream that she has on there. We filmed that, and the family was adorable, and they had like just like it's anyone's dream rig. I feel like what they had. I was like, is there anything that you guys don't have? They're like, we have this outdoor shower. We haven't really used it. We have an indoor shower. They have like so much propane on the outside. They had two awnings because one is never enough. Two, like one on each side. They had their like control panel was super nice. It's obviously an expensive setup, but
what's money, eh?
when it's your full-time rig, you know. What's that noise? Did you hear that?
The neighbours.
Ah, neighbors are being loud today. Wow, Steven, that's hard to find, a perfect condition Airstream. You must have been able to sell that really fast. I'm hungry. I think I'm gonna...
I am hungry too. We can stop the live soon and just have lunch.
Yeah?
Yep.
Down to do that. Too fast. Yeah, our friend Ashley, who she works for Tiny House Listings, she sold our van and our bus. She said that Airstreams are just the highest, like they get the most interest every single time. They always sell the fastest, which I can see why, because now that we have the Airstream, we don't ever want to sell it. But if we have to, we have to. But it's just they're so cool. They're such cool rigs.
Very cool.
All right, if you guys have any other questions, let us know, because I think we're gonna wind down here and get some lunch, and then I have to stop procrastinating doing stuff. It was only 14 feet. Wow, ours is 18 feet. But they say the smaller ones are more sought after, so, because it's just easier to move around. Bye, Angus. Tell your parents we say hi. We miss them. We love you guys. Oh, thanks, Cindy. Hey, Bart. How was the drop-off? I'm excited for you to do a video where we just get to follow you around all day and just see like you doing.
Both of them.
Yeah, follow both of you. And then, yeah, just to get to see you in action, see what it's like. I know you did a video on it once, kind of, but just more. We gotta just see more of Bart. See more
Bart, you know?
more of what Bart's doing.
Is that too much to ask? Excuse me.
It pulled great, but was too small. Yeah, 14 feet seems really small. I feel like 18, 25, between 18 and 25 is a good size. We want a Barty cam. Yeah, that would be so cool, Bart. You should go live as you're doing it and just leave it on all day. That would be fun. When Jay was pulling this Airstream here, I followed him, and it just literally looked like he was pulling air. Like the Airstream's, because there's nothing in it right now, but it still just was, I don't know, I feel like they're super light because they're made of aluminum.
And it was also gutted.
Yeah.
There's nothing in it.
But I feel like even having everything in it, it won't be that hard to pull it.
Nah.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Bart is full-time on the road in his van, and he does like deliveries all over the country. That's how he's able to pay for his travels. So we were saying how it would be a cool video for him to just kind of explain how he gets the deliveries, how he gets like all these jobs, because it's an awesome job to have as a nomad if you're traveling, especially in a van. I feel like a bus maybe not so much, just because gas would probably be not worth it. But yeah. Stephen, I feel that. Have a good day. I didn't know you had a shop. That's awesome.
All right, last cable, and then we'll break for lunch.
Burner, it's the final cable. I feel like the whole last day of Gutted, we were just singing that song. The final day. How weight conscious are we on a build? Talking about ourselves, or no? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we normally diet when we're building.
I
always try and the first thing I think about is like weight distribution. I don't want like everything on the left.
had a low power, low battery thing, so it like froze for a second.
And then when I'm building stuff, I'm always just thinking about making stuff as light as possible. So instead of building with like, I'll put 1/4 inch plywood if it's not structural, instead of putting like 3/4 inch plywood, or using a countertop that's not like granite, I'll use like a laminate countertop that's much lighter.
But I don't think it's as important as people. I feel like, especially when we lived, garbage. Especially when we lived in the bus, it was like one of the main. Just sat on a bucket. That was one of the main questions we always got, like how the weight in that bus is just like ridiculous. How are you going to drive that down the road? But if you think about it, like we took out all the seats for the bus.
And a bus fully stocked is full of like
kids.
50 kids.
Or not even kids. Like when I was in high school, I was a loser and I took the bus. It was one of those. I don't know if that was the same case for you guys. Like whoever took the bus in high school was a loser because like you either wanted to drive yourself or have your parents drive you. Anyways, yeah. So like it could hold like a bunch of like 14 to 18-year-olds and have all that weight in it and have the seats, and then you take all that out to build. So you have, I think we weighed our bus before and after, and it was like pretty similar in weight. So you don't have to be too conscious. I think the more important thing is to get it evenly distributed on both sides.
Yeah. I think, yeah, even, because you can feel it. If it's not like weighed down evenly, you can kind of feel the drive qualities a little bit.
Especially if you do a roof raise.
Like
with Bessie. Yeah.
But yeah, it's not, just don't put a bunch of heavy stuff in it. Like, don't do like a concrete countertop, or just make good decisions.
Or do it. Do whatever you want, you know? You'll be fine either way, I think, but as long as you don't have like, everything on one side. Wow, Bart, 5 miles? That's a lot of, that's far. Why did you have to walk so far? I would have at least gotten a bike or something.
I know I said last cable, but
You have one more.
I have loads more, but I can stop whenever.
Yeah.
Alright, let me call it, so I'll just keep going. Alright, so we're going to stop the live there. This is 70% completed. I've basically just got to take off the majority of cables, heat shrink them, put them back on, and then there's a few cables that I've still got to make up. And if you want to see all of that, I'll put it on like our Instagram story. So if you want to go over to our Instagram, at Kels and Jay, you'll be able to see this system get completely finished. And then I'm putting together a whole video on the van that this system is going into.
Which is right behind you, actually. This van is cool. We didn't even show them this van, did we? Decked out. Bum, 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 bum. It's a really cool van. The guy bought it and dropped it off here. So we didn't deck it out, but it's going to be an awesome build once it's done.
Yeah. So thank you for watching.
Yeah.
I'll probably do more lives like these where we're just building.
We're doing boring stuff.
It's cool to have you just hang out with us.
Yeah.
Makes it less mundane for me.
Now we're gonna go eat. Hope you guys have a good rest of your Tuesday? It's Wednesday.
Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. All right. Bye.
As Bart would say,
Peace.
peace.
I don't know how to end this thing, so.
How do I hang up?